Okay, now let's move into how similarity can affect the parameter and area. So it gives us two triangles and it wants us to find the similarity ratio, parameter ratio, and the area ratio. Okay, first thing we need to know is the area of a triangle. Area of a triangle is A equals 1/2 BH. B stands for base, H stands for height. Okay, so first, similarity ratio. So similarity ratio, remember you're supposed to pick one number from one side and another number from the other side. So let's look at, for example, 5 and 10. So then similarity ratio would be 5 over 10, which reduces to 1/2. So the similarity ratio of these two triangles is 1/2. Okay, next question is to find the parameter ratio. So in order to do that, we need to find the parameter of these two triangles. So the parameter of the first one, P equals, you got to add up all the sides. 3 plus 4 plus 5. Okay, 3 plus 4 plus 5, that's 12. Okay, let's find the parameter of the second triangle. So that's going to be P equals 6 plus 8 plus 10. 6 plus 8, 14 plus 10, 24. Okay, so then the parameter ratio in this case is going to be 12 over 24. So 12 over 24, which also reduces to 1/2. Okay, so what do we notice? We notice that the similarity ratio and parameter ratio are exactly the same. So then let's see what happens with the area ratio. So in order to do that, we need to find the area of both triangles. So area equals 1/2, and remember it says base times height. So it's going to be 1/2. Base of the first one is 3 times the height is 4. So 1/2 of 3 times 4 is 1/2 of 12, 6. The area of the second one is going to be 1/2. The base in the second one is 6, and the height is 8. 6 times 8, 48. Half of that, 24. Okay, so the area of the first triangle is 6. The area of the second triangle is 24. So then the area ratio would be 6 over 24, which reduces to 1/4. Okay, so it's not going to be the same. Okay, so how does 1/4 compare to 1/2? Well, it's exactly a square of it. 1/2, when you square it, you get 1/4. And the reason the way we're gonna remember this is you always find area in square units. Area is always square feet, square centimeters. So what you have to do is take the similarity ratio or the parameter ratio and you square it, and that's how you're gonna get the area ratio. Okay, so that brings us to the next box, proportional parameters and areas theorem. So we're gonna say, if similarity ratio equals A over B, if similarity ratio equals A over B, comma, then, and write these one below each other, then parameter ratio equals A over B, then parameter ratio equals A over B, and then below that write area ratio equals A squared over B squared. So you gotta square both numbers. Okay. So if similarity ratio equals A over B, then parameter ratio equals A over B also, and area ratio equals A squared over B squared. Okay. So let's look at what that looks like in the problem. Okay, given that triangle LMN is similar to triangle QRS, find the perimeter P and the area of triangle QRS. Okay. So looking at these two triangles, we can tell right away that the similarity ratio, I'm going to write that over here. So sim ratio is 13 over 9.1, which means that the parameter ratio is the same thing, 13 over 9.1. Okay, so the problem is to find the parameter, the new parameter, and the area of the other triangle. Okay, the area ratio, you have to square the numbers. So that's going to be 13 squared over 9.1 squared. And that's 169 over 82.81. Okay, so now we need to use these ratios to find what we're missing. So first thing we're going to do is find the perimeter of the second triangle. So if we're going to be looking for the perimeter, we're going to use the perimeter ratio. So we're going to write 13 over 9.1 equals, it gives me the perimeter, so it's going to be 36 over x. So 13 over 9.1 is the same thing as 36 over x. So we cross multiply, we get 13x equals 9.1 times 36. That means that 13x equals 327.6. Divide both sides by 13. So you get parameter P equals 25.2 centimeters. Okay, so we found the parameter. Now to find the area, we got to use the area ratio. So we already wrote that up there. So we're going to say that 169 over 82.81 is equal to the area of the first one, 60, over, we don't know the area of the second one, so that's going to be my x. Okay, so we have to use the area ratio to find the area. Okay, so we cross multiply, so we get 169x equals 82.81 times 60. So 169x equals 4,968.6. So 169x equals 4,968.6. Divide both sides by 169. And you get area equals 29.4 centimeters squared. Okay, there you go. So that's the area of the second one. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Triangle ABC, similar to triangle DEF. Alright, but it doesn't give us the dimensions, so let's sketch that. We have two triangles. ABC is similar to DEF. So you sketch two triangles. BC is 4. EF is 12. Then it tells me the perimeter of DEF is 42. So perimeter equals 42. Area equals 96. Okay, then the question is to find the perimeter in the area of ABC. So perimeter equals question mark, area equals question mark. Okay, first thing we gotta find all three ratios. So similarity ratio is going to be 4 to 12, which reduces to 1/3. Then parameter ratio, remember, is the same thing, 1/3. Now the area ratio, you have to square the numbers. So it's not going to be 1/3, it's going to be 1 squared, which is 1, 3 squared, which is 9. So the area ratio is then 1 over 9. Okay. So let's find it. So if we're going to look for the parameter of ABC, then we got to use the parameter ratio. So we write 1 over 3 equals, I don't know the parameter of the first one, so that's going to be x, over, I know the parameter of the second one, 42. So 1 over 3 equals x over 42. We cross multiply. 1 times 42 equals 3x. Divide both sides by 3. And we get P equals 14 millimeters. So there's the parameter. And now let's look for the area. So for the area, we got to use the area ratio. So we write 1 over 9 equals, I don't know the area of the first one, so it's going to be x, over, the area of the second one is 96. So 1 over 9 equals x over 96. Same thing, cross multiply. 1 times 96 equals 9x. Well, 1 times 96 is just 96. So let's divide both sides by 9. And we get area equals 10.6 with 6 repeating. And it's going to be millimeters squared. Okay, and there you have it. So the main point here is to remember to square the similarity ratio if you're going to be looking for areas. Okay, so pre-APs, you will now get your homework. You got the worksheet. And then regular classes, go to your homework webpage. It's written on the board, and you have 7-5 assigned for homework. And I will see you guys on Monday.